Problem solvers. Today we're going to practice addition and subtraction and just do a variety of them, kind of helping your brain flip back and forth from addition to subtraction and back again, and use both of them to solve some real world problems. So today you are going to need your math book for lesson 416. It is page 249. You're going to do a couple problems with me to start with. So let's start with number 1. One's a good place to start. If you still don't have your workbook out, you can pause me, but it's page 249. Number 1. All right, here we go. So we're going to make sure that we look very carefully at the sign, because as we're going through here, they have some addition and subtractions. They kind of did mostly a job of, kind of alternating, having even ones with addition and subtraction, but they are mixed up, so you don't want to do the wrong answer. So we're going to look here, and then we have an addition sign. We're going to add these two numbers together, so we're going to do some regrouping. So 2 plus 9 is 11, but we can't have 11 ones, so we're going to have 1 1, and then take that 10 from that 11 and add it to the tens. So 1 10 plus 1 10 is 2 tens, plus 5 is going to give me 1 2 7 tens. And then we're going to look at the hundreds. 100 plus 400 is 500. So 551 is going to be my answer for that one. And so sometimes we have to be careful. We want to make sure that we are regrouping when we need to, but not automatically. So there was just 7. It wasn't 17, so we didn't need to regroup there. Make sure that you're not regrouping unnecessarily. So this one here, we go 572 minus 357. So we're looking to possibly ungroup. We're going to look here, and I'm going to see that 7 is smaller than 2, so I'm going to do some regrouping there. 5 is smaller than 7, so I might be okay there. And 3 is smaller than 5. But it does look like I'm going to have to do some ungrouping. So we take 2 ones minus 7 ones. Definitely can't do that. So I'm going to go over and have a 10, make that 6 tens, take that other 10, and make it into 10 ones. So I have 12 ones minus 7 ones gives me 5. And then I have 6 tens minus 5 tens. So 6 tens minus 5 tens gives me 1 10. And then hundreds, I don't have to ungroup here because I had enough there. 5 minus 3, 5 hundreds minus 3 hundreds gives me 2 hundreds, 215. So sometimes you do need to ungroup, sometimes and regroup, and sometimes you don't need to. So make sure that you look at that and before you just assume. So think about subtracting. When you're subtracting, so when you're adding and subtracting, think about when you're adding, you're going to end up with a larger number than either of the other two. And then remember, when you're subtracting, your answer should end up being smaller than what you started with. That's important, so that when you're checking your answers as you're going through, that you always make sure that your answer makes sense, because that's important. So we have 100 plus about 4 and we're going to round up a little bit to 500. 100 plus 500 gives about 600. That answer makes sense. I have 572, that's about 600, minus about 400 is going to give me about 200. Yep, that makes sense too. All right. So those are the problems I'm going to have you do on that page. I would like you to look at page 250 for me. Page 250, so flip the page if you need to. Again, we're still on 216. So this is the idea that we're going to solve some real world problems using some numbers. So here, the students at Liberty Elementary collected pennies for a fundraiser. So here's the pennies collected. This is our data. Here's our grade. Here are our grades. Here over here are the number of pennies. So we have a nice data table here. So it says write an equation and solve the problem. So the first question says how many pennies did grade 2 and 5 collect? So we take grade 2, grade 5, we add them together and get a whole answer there, wouldn't we? It says how many more pennies did grades 1 and 3 collect than grade 4? That's a two-step problem. We'd have to find out how many grade 1 and grade 3 did and put those together. And then we have to know how many more, so we would subtract that amount from grade 4 from that total to get how many more those two grades had collected than 4th grade. 17 is, we're actually going to do this one together, is the total number of pennies collected by grades 1 and 4 greater than or less than the total number collected by grades 3 and 5. So we need to come over here, and we're going to, it says the total number collected, so total, I'm going to add them together. So grade 1 is 225, and then it says grade 1 and 4, so 609. I'm going to add those two together, and I'm going to compare them to how much grades 3 and 5 did. So grade 3, 517, and grade 5 is 342. I'm going to put my plus sign so I make sure I know I have those. And then I'm going to compare those two options. Okay? Now I'm going to make sense of this again. So I have about 200 plus about 600. So my answer should be about 800 for this one. And let's see, 800, that's 500, it's about 500. Ooh, that one's going to be rounded to about 800 as well. So it's going to be close. We're going to find out how many specifically. 5 plus 9, so that's going to be over 10. That's going to be 14. I'm going to regroup my 1 so that I have the 10 ones becomes the 10. 1 10 plus 2 10s equals 3 10s. And then I have 200 plus 600 is going to give me 834. Good, that's about the answer I was looking for. All right, let's compare this one. 7 ones plus 2 ones, that's 9 ones. No regrouping necessary for that one. 1 10 plus 4 10s is 5 10s, and then 5 plus the 3 is going to be 859. So it is going to be less than. So grades 1 and 4 are less than 3 and 5. All right. Okay. So if you need to pause me so that you can get all of that written, feel free to do so. Okay, so now we're going to go on to the total number of pennies collected by which 3 grades equals about 1,000. All right, so I'm going to look through my choices here. I've got to pick 3 grades, so there's going to be at least 3 choices that I'm going to have to pick that would be about 1,000. So I'm going to look here, and I'm going to say, okay, so 225 is about 200, plus about 400, plus about 500. Ooh, that's about 1,100. That's probably not going to work. Okay, let's see. I could try 2nd grade. That's about 400 plus 500 plus 6. Oh, that's way too much. All right, so grade 3 is 500 plus 600. Oh, it's also too much before I even get to the 3rd one, right? All right, so I could do 609 plus 342, but that one's already almost 900, and I don't have any that'll be close, so that'll be close to 1,000 again. All right, so I think I'm going to need to take some of these smaller ones and put them together, because the bigger ones are making it hard for me to be able to do those other ones. So I'm going to take 225, the small one, plus I'm going to try 436. I'm going to see what those two end up being. All right, so 5 plus 6 is 11. Then I'm going to, so 1 plus 2 is 3, 3 plus 3 is 6. 2 plus 4 is also 6, 661. So now I'm going to try to find, okay, that's almost 700. So I'm going to find one that looks like it's about, if I add that one to this one, let's see, that seems reasonable. 700 plus about 300. So let's try that. So 661 plus 342. That seems reasonable. All right, so 1 plus 2 is 3. 6 plus 4, oh, that's 10. So 10 tens gives me an extra 100. 1 plus 6 is 7. 7 plus, look at that, 1,000. Yep, got to get that comment there before you guys yell at me. 1,003 is very close to about 1,000. So now I got to go back and see which 2 grades that was again. So that was grade 1. Grade 1. Grade 2 and grade 5 are about 1,000. There we go. There's my answer there. All right, friends. So you are going to have some questions that use a situation like this penny collected. You're going to have to decide, do I add? Do I subtract? How am I going to, what is the best route to use for this real world problem? You're going to need some scratch paper because, again, I wouldn't have been able to do these unless I have the scratch paper next to me. So you can use some scratch paper or your workbook to help you solve those problems. But go to Think Central and answer the questions for 416. Again, they might give you some enrichment questions or some review questions, but always make sure that you complete anything that says 416 or anything before that. All right, my friends, have a good day.